What up, everybody? We are, you know, out here. I don't know where we are. Um, we we were in a palace of 1,001 rooms, and now we uh we left. We left that palace through this little hole right here. Uh, we kind of broke the module. I don't think we were supposed to go through that, but we did. But we did. Uh, oh, they're talking. I'm gonna unmute them.
Already paid for it. Just you then just
We
walked
paid
into
for
your
food.
room, so they'll probably come and
Have rooms.
give you your food.
I actually wasn't here last week.
But you walked straight out to the goats, and the others were. Everybody was kind of discussing how to go forward from there.
I
So
actually I have a question.
yeah,
Since I missed last week.
yeah.
Sherwin would have at least at some point in this journey
Mhm.
grade.
Yeah.
Do I still like feel a connection to like my
Yeah,
deity and stuff? Okay,
it's
cool.
We
it's
all did
kind
a
of
thing.
weaker. They all tried something. Basically, also tried spells that they those that know that their powers come from certain gods were like,
Okay.
okay, so do my spells still work? And they do.
Okay.
Trying to, I think, was it your little dragon friend? Was it? I think we did
Yeah, he was
something with
trying to
him as
see
well.
if he was
And
connected to his
so
god.
he also was like, yeah, I mean, it's
This
not the
was
same
weak,
kind of, yeah, it's weak,
like
but it's
far
not
away.
like it was in the palace where it was kind of this shielded feeling that you were in, this pocket dimension of sorts or something that's
So it's
actually
like a
like
slight
keeping something out.
improvement.
So it's just, yeah, in a way, yeah, but it's
Oh,
like being
okay.
very far away.
All right. I fucks with it.
But
But
as
we've
long as
also
you
figured
remember
out
your
last
gods.
session that none of us have any idea where we're at. It doesn't relate to any of the regions that we're from.
No.
Beautiful.
Because we played it like me and you are from Eberron and they're from the other place because we were on the airship together.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Solomon are from Forgotten Realms, Toral.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's what's up.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's basically where. Well, also we did like say that Sherwin would pretty much have just walked straight to the next bed when they got to their room in
Valid.
this tavern. So yeah, for some of the time you are just gonna you were sleeping, but you can always just chime
Yeah, I
in
think
and.
I think we mentioned that we like rolled you over so we could prestidigitate you on both sides to get you clean.
Yeah, clean you up.
That's
Yeah.
valid.
They
I
did that.
appreciate you
Yeah.
guys. I
We
don't want
spent a
no
month and a
barnacles.
half. We spent a month and a half in a tunnel, so eating just goat that we cooked off
Yeah.
of torches. So
Yes.
Yeah. So we're
yeah,
doing
couldn't have been
good.
great. Yeah, couldn't have been great.
I feel like when we ordered food, we were just like, not goat. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Not goat milk. Just not goat. They're like, we don't.
Soren
serve
was like,
that.
I
They're
want.
gonna have fun with the menu here.
Soren was like, I want all the vegetables, just vegetable
Yeah.
medley, salad, like any vegetables you got.
Esther's,
Yeah.
Just
Esther's
pile it
just
up.
fish. Fish me. All the fish.
I feel like Sherwin's a snapping turtle now. The carnivore now.
Yeah,
There you go.
He is a
makes
fault.
sense.
All that goat, he got a bit of a bill on him.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much the situation you were in. You
Right.
were like you did talk to this just the one person at the inn for a little bit, like just the barkeep. There were other people. Solomon was very good at kind of drawing some looks, and he tried to check the room and failed. Like I think it was a 2 and -1 or something. So he ended up having a 1 on his perception. Then well, Esther and Soren kind of talked to this lady behind the bar.
Oh yeah,
We
Esther
did
was doing
figure
a
out
great job.
something about like place names.
Yeah,
And
Esther
then
was
just
asking questions about grapes and wine and stuff, but getting like all kinds of answers about the region and stuff.
yeah,
It was
right.
super
It
clever.
was a kind of a wine
Yeah.
talk.
It
Yeah,
was
it was
like
very
a
clever.
round the way, like it was like a roundabout way to get information without saying like, oh yeah, like I know
Right.
that
So
these
I
type
don't
of
know
wines grow up
anything, but
north. So like,
yeah.
I
yeah,
was
near what
I-
city would that be? Like,
Tell me about this
Soren
world.
and I were both impressed. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was
like it.
a pretty good way to, get some kind of information. So yeah, apart from Esther also wanting to try to talk to the animals outside in this little pen area, I think the others are probably just gonna be in their rooms.
oh yeah, I
And
guess
yeah,
important information we did find out is there is a city to the south of us. I think you said it was, but it was way south. But that
yeah,
was
it
like the
was.
big city, right?
There
And
is a
then there is
big
a city
city that,
close to us, like that's the closest to us to the
yeah,
west, right?
yeah. So the big city was like southwest-ish in some way. She was like this person wasn't that clear about it because she absolutely assumed that you would know what she was talking about because it's the biggest city there.
Yeah, and I didn't press because I didn't want to look like
But
Knobs.
yeah, she was like, yeah, it's you know, down there, that kind of thing.
All right.
And yeah, I think that's just about all you did find out. Like the place to the north, like, well, northwest-ish to you, that she was kind of actually pointing towards the direction. So assuming you just, you would assume that if the sun and stuff like that kind of works like in your world, you would just call a certain direction north. If it really is called north, there's another thing, but yeah, just
All right.
going
I'd
out
assume we
from
just
whatever you
assume this
think.
place follows our same rules.
Kind of.
Just be like, look at the sun and be like, okay, yeah,
that
north's that way.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be your idea. There's some kind of bigger place not too far away from you, and you kind of wanted to go there, I think, to actually find a library or something and just look at a map.
Yeah, we're trying
I
to
think that
find a
was the
map
plan.
in the library, just so we can just go and read and like basically do like regional history research, so we don't look like we're not from here. We're just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we know that this place is its major crop is this, and it is well known for this and that. Like we're obviously from here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think the last thing we had talked about was Soren was going to see if we could figure out a country that was very far away that people wouldn't know necessarily a lot about here that we could claim
Yeah.
to be from if we needed to.
We're from
Yeah.
there. That's why we know nothing.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
from
And that's
the
why our
boonies.
customs. Yeah, that's why our customs are so weird. That's why we don't know that your customs is because we're from this far off places of such and such.
You also did think that
And
your
that's probably why we look so
your
weird, me and
looks,
Sherwin.
yeah, you look different from most people you see. You see like the standard elves, dwarfs, and humans.
Oh
You
yeah,
didn't
sure.
actually
We
see
get
any animals. So
Hey, thank you for tuning in.
except
we
for
appreciate
goats.
you.
yeah, we be getting eyeballed, Sherwin.
Well, I'm kind of used to people looking at me. I'm really dashing in my old
Yeah.
age.
More like, what the fuck is that?
Well, that sounds kind of rude.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, but seeing as there's a whole lot of them and only a couple of us, figured it was probably better to let it slide.
Yeah.
I'll pray for him.
Also, so what up with these goats?
Yeah. Would you like to take a minute, go talk to them? We can just kind of switch
Yeah.
back and forth between, inside and the goat place. Sure, we can
just
start
wanna-
there.
Out in like the barn.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
it's
be like,
an open kind of stable situation, so you have
No, it's like a paddock.
just a kind of a
kind of thing.
pen paddock thing, and
Okay.
just like it's open on one side. It's completely open. The other 3 sides are just wooden, kind of rickety, a little bit of protection. It's shelter for animals.
I really like the goat token, by the way. Pretty solid.
Yeah, it's I was glad I found something that works. So yeah. Okay, so should we start talking to goats now?
So
I had to check what their intelligence is just to make sure, because let's say it's gonna be a challenge.
Do we would have a druid we could cast
Uh-oh.
awaken on our goat,
You
and then it'd be a smart
can
goat.
do that, yeah.
we can find druids. We'll have to find one. If they have druids here.
Yeah, you actually don't know much about anything here
We
because
don't even know if they have magic here.
yeah, you know that your magic still works. You haven't seen anything very, anything that would scream magic at you.
I assume
far.
if
They'll say,
there's
our magic
elves,
still
there's
works, but we don't
magic.
know.
You would
That's all.
absolutely assume. I mean, you would absolutely assume that there's magic. That's
Well,
just
we're from worlds that have magic, so we
yeah.
would
You would just
immediately assume that everything still works. But there's still a chance that they don't have magic here.
We're gonna be superheroes.
Superheroes.
I think that's what this might be all about. No, but yeah, you
Hell
would
yeah.
absolutely assume to
We're
be
here to save the world.
Got my lucky nut.
First
You
one,
don't
that was
know
our
what the
trial.
problem is
That was
in
our
that?
trial.
Yeah.
We in it to win it.
But yeah, so first question would be like, alrighty there, little critters.
Hmm.
So
Critter.
how many of them things there do you see go in which direction full and which direction empty? And I just pointed a cart like a horse-drawn carriage.
There's 2 that kind of, are close to there with some kind of it's probably from some of the areas around here. It doesn't look very nice or big or anything. They just look at you for a little bit and look back and forth
Alrighty.
between the carts and you and just go many.
All right, so got that. So there's a whole bunch. Where does most of them go? Which way? That way down the road or that way down the road?
They kind of point with their heads. They point towards what you would assume kind of being the the northern kind of path that is leading into the woods again.
So
But then
towards the city that we're already planning that towards.
they would kind of think probably there. I mean, goats can't really shrug, so let's just say they're not entirely certain of they're not actually gonna give you any percentages, but they think
Yeah,
that
I'd
a
assume
lot
they
of
go head
carts
shape.
go that way. But it seems like there's also carts going other ways.
So all right, so the carts that go that way, do they
Yeah.
have stuff on them?
Uh-huh.
So they
And the
have boxes like those, or like sacks like those. Do they have stuff on them, or are they normally empty with nothing on them?
Uh, mm, uh, the full.
So
Many things. Many.
all right, that's good. That's good. Pull out a ration. I like take a bite out of a
yeah.
piece of jerky.
They
and I
immediately
give the
just charge
crackers.
all towards you. There's like 5 goats
Yeah, I
and
start
a
feeding
sheep,
them some
and they
rations.
all just kind of butt their
Goat
heads
mob.
towards your hand.
Hey, calm down now. Calm down now. I'll get you guys all some. Don't you worry.
Hey, welcome
I
in.
said, all right, now the ones that go that way, normally are they also have many or are they have few?
Not as many. No.
Okay. All right. So I assume trade is flowing in towards that city over there, so it is probably accurate what they told us. Now, the people that look like me but wear all the same thing, is there a lot of them that come by here? Or few? Many or few?
Those are good questions. I don't have the answers.
If there's a
Many.
guard standing around, I would point at and be like, the ones that are dressed like that.
Oh, Sam? Not
Some,
many.
alright. How about people that look like me? And I point at my face.
uh, they look at you for a little bit, trying to kind of process the question and really look at you with their funny square eyes,
And
and then go,
grab one of their ears and say
Creepy.
like fur with fur.
"We have not seen your face before.
All right,
Is
interesting.
that the question? I don't know."
You're doing great. You're doing great. Here, give him another cracker and start handing out some more crackers. I was like, no, you guys are doing great. You guys are doing great. All right, so now I think that's everything I need from you guys right now. But I might be back. I'll have some more crackers with me too. You guys have a real good night. Rest on easy. And I just head
Good
back
night.
inside.
Okay, so they just munch down their crackers and then
All right, so I
just
figured out that
keep eating
trade
grass.
passes towards the city that we're going towards.
Seems to be
The guards don't often come. Sorry, excuse me. Don't
Nope.
often come through this area.
Yeah, it seems
And
like it's, yeah, just
animal
sometimes.
folk have not been seen, at least in the open walking past
As
this
far
area.
as you know what they told you.
Yeah.
Them
So I
being
mean, like it's not like super great information, but it was free for me.
that is very
Like,
true.
and it was zero risk information. Like
Yeah.
I didn't have to seem like an idiot asking goats
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's also kind of, this evening time when people kind of head inside more, and so nobody's actually, like, looking at you at
Yeah,
this
nobody's
time
like
when you
sitting there watching
talk
like,
to the goats.
why is this
What
cat
is
man
going
talking
on?
to a goat?
Yeah.
What in Fur
I
I
mean-
Nation?
guess it's just what they do.
Farness. Yeah. So
Yeah. So then I wanted to
you get-
go and talk to the bartender one more time.
Yeah, if you go inside, you will pass the bar anyway. There's this one entrance that, people seem to use. So you will pass the bar again. It's just opposite the room, and then it's kind of to the back of that is where your room is.
Okay, perfect. So as I'm walking by, I'll be like, "Oh, ma'am,
Oh, yes?
I heard this tantalizing rumor been going around that people have been showing up out of nowhere here. Happens every once in a while. They've been saying that. I haven't seen none, not hide nor hair of it. What do you think about that?"
I haven't heard much about that. I mean, there's always some rumors going around this tavern here, but it's most of the time more the usual about, this whole problem with the pact or anything about that, and also the harvest. I know that somebody said that the goatlings were coming very, very close to their farm, but that's not appearing out of nowhere. We know they're coming from the forest.
So wait, as a character, as a player, did you say goblins or goldlings?
Goatlings.
Goatlings.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, I've heard that's been a big problem of late. Man,
It'd
if
be a
there's
goat
only a
apocalypse.
group of adventurers or something that were capable and handy bunch that could help somebody solve something like that.
Yeah, well, the farmers do their best, and we always look for, people that can help with that. If you're up for the challenge, I bet there's anybody in this tavern that might have, a place to point you to that's currently being besieged by those pests.
Well, that sounds like something that we may be able to assist you with. We are in a customary sense used to assisting people, as you may well know. The adventurous lifestyle, you know what I'm saying. And I just kind of laugh and chuckle, but I'm like reading her to see if like that like strikes like a weird look or something.
She kind of thinks for a split second and then goes, "Oh, you mean you're a hunter as well?"
Ah, yeah, hunters. We go and hunt things for people, but obviously that's what we do.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I used to do that back in the day. And she just goes rambling on about things, just, a crew that you don't know about that she obviously had a lot of hunts with, and just talks
I
about things
I
a
talk
lot.
with her as long as I possibly can, and
Okay.
I just try and keep a mental note of places, locations, like roads, like area names, like
Hmm.
cities and things like that. Like, because like if she's already been adventuring in those areas, there's a good chance that there's still money there to be
Yeah.
made. And so when we get our maps, I want to be able to be like, okay, there's money to be made here, and here, and
And
here,
there.
and this is a big city here. Like, so like
Okay.
I'm just like, oh my God, really
Hmm.
in that city? That's amazing. Go on, tell me more. This is just enthralling. You've done so much more than our little troop has. That is for sure, my dear. You are just what an enthralling man you are.
Yeah, okay. So what you will find out basically is that she has spent a lot of time in this forest area around you. You will find out that there's a lot more mountains to kind of towards like the northern side of that, and after that, it's something she calls the Heartlands a lot. Um, that seems to kind of grow into a more of a plain. Uh, and she talks about hunting huge creatures there, which are like huge balls of some sort. She talks not too much about like the other people she worked with. She talks a lot about those. Like she really liked this one guy, and but then they lost, a third of their party with in another part of the forest that's pretty hilly and towards the Dead Falls that she calls it. Um, you don't know the direction. She just gives you a place name for that. Um, and they were apparently just ambushed by some kind of satyrs there. And she
Kind
just
of like
goes on about that a lot.
passingly mentioned during the conversation at some point. Like,
Hmm.
it's almost like this forest, it goes on
Yeah.
forever. Have you ever been outside of it?
Oh, well, the hunt is quite good in the forests. If we go too far south, we'll probably just, we don't actually try so very hard to anger anybody outside of the forest. I mean, that's a very good hunting area.
Oh, so you don't want to step on another faction's toes or anything like that.
No, well, of course not.
Of course not. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So you didn't get the pass to go hunt on other people's lands.
Well, other people's lands. Um, let's just say this here is our area. We have huge, just forests and hills and some mountains around us. Uh, we could have tried to also go further north, but then we would not only fight our prey. I mean, what's the sense in trying to hunt and then being hunted yourself? She just
Oh yeah, I agree. I
looks at
mean,
you
some
like,
people find it
why would I?
entertaining, but
Valid.
of course, no, we wouldn't want to have that happen.
I mean, after this incident at the Deadfalls, we really didn't want to lose anybody else, so we really did stick to the parts we know, and we know the forest very well. And, apart from the few people around here that grow foods. It's mostly wild forest, so it's a lot of animals here.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense then. All right, well, you beautiful woman, you have a wonderful night, and I hope that your adventures plead well in your dreams. You have a good one. I'm gonna head up, get some shut eye myself,
Yeah,
and
she just goes,
do
yeah,
a
good
big
night to
old
you too. Oh,
stretch.
and here's your food. And she'll just kind of
Oh, thank
shove
you.
over a big tray that if you want, you can just take it with you.
Yeah, I
It's
just grab it.
it's
I
like
go
the
up to the
food for
room with it.
everybody. Yeah. Okay. So he comes in again with lots of food in his hands. You probably
And
have
then
to
I
like,
just
I don't
start
know.
regaling them of all the information that I got.
Yeah. So basically what you know is this area here is like hill and forest country. Seems to be pretty wild, mostly.
Also, that the areas are segregated somehow.
Yeah, there's different areas that you kind of heard about now. Some seem to be more dangerous than others, which makes sense.
It sounds like we lucked out landing in the forest region.
Possibly.
Or we're going to be hunted.
You don't know if there's any turtle hunters around here yet, so
I know
yeah.
that there's people out there that eat turtle soup.
Yeah.
I don't know if they live here, though.
No, you don't.
I'm
So
sleeping. I don't
food-wise,
really
what
know
you
anything.
have on this tray is, it's quite a lot of food. There's some flatbread there that's pretty fresh as well. Looks like it's came pretty straight out of somebody's oven and then just didn't go very far. Like it didn't have to be carted for a long time to get here. Still pretty good, but not warm or anything. She didn't bake it here, seemingly. Then lots of little, I'll call them fruits for now, like little ovals, pretty dark grayish green in color.
I'm trying to memorize all the natural stuff.
Yeah, okay, so there's that. If you did tell them to not have any goat like in the food, you'll find quite a lot of sheep's uh produced in there, like sheep's milk, cheeses, just some,
As long as it ain't goat.
yeah. Any they left out the meats that would have been goat possibly. There's a salad that's like a big salad bowl with just all kinds of green leafy things in there that look familiar, as in they look like salad. Something that's very much like a carrot or something has been just grated into it as well for some color. Also possibly sheep's milk cheese in there. Pretty pungent smelling, but it tastes nice. Yeah, and just a lot of vegetables that are, some are just mixed with some cheese as well and just have been heated up to make a kind of interesting mixture that you haven't seen before, probably.
First thing I do is I take a fork full of meat, smell it,
Mhm.
look at it real close, then hold it up to Squigs, be like, "Hey, Squigs, this goat." And he bites it off.
Yeah,
Nope.
I mean, from just tasting it, if he actually he's gonna tell you, he's gonna steal your food, but he's gonna still tell you. He doesn't think it's goat. I don't know how much goat you fed him in the past. It's kind of depending on that, but you did feed
It's
him
a-
a lot of it in the tunnels,
I was
and it
about to say,
doesn't taste quite like that. Like, it doesn't seem that kind of goat that you ate down there.
all right, let's dig in.
Okay. So yeah, you can all eat and
Between mouthfuls, just spewing information out.
possibly plan some more if you like. But yeah.
That sounds like this might be a good way for us to get some income. We're gonna need income here. We don't have any way of I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a lot of currency.
It's like we're gonna figure out how to ask them about airships. No. Also, I'm broke.
Sherman's napping.
Okay.
Also have we got to figure out how common magic is here. If it's really common, then
how much about people that use magic did her stories tell me?
In the story, they seem to have pretty much just actually hunted beasts, sometimes with traps, like spring traps.
So they have no magic
snares.
or nothing.
She seems to have been a hunter in her past, like an actual
Yes.
bows, spears, things like that hunter. That's pretty good at, finding her way around the forest.
Almost
but-
as dope as a ranger.
Yeah, in a way, just more on the just stalking prey side of things, maybe, than you might have been.
calling it now. She's a werewolf.
Just
We are all gonna die.
She's sending us out so we can be the ones that are hunted.
Oh, yeah, sure.
If magic is common here, then I can use it openly and I won't have to worry about it. That'll be nice. If it's not common at all, like nobody uses it and they don't even know magic, that means we shouldn't use it around anybody and be very safe. If it's only kind of common, that's the best scenario. Because then we can sell our magic will have value.
Also, that is very good. If it's uncommon and a commodity, we can come at a high price. Also,
Exactly.
don't know what their thoughts are on dragons. I'm keeping squigs hidden. I'm probably just going to keep doing that.
If magic isn't too frightening to the locals, I do have a spell that I could sell my services with to make a little extra money. I have it was a spell I was working on in the castle just for our own safety, but it's called Arcane Lock.
Yeah.
All right.
I can cast it on something and it lasts forever until somebody actually removes the magic completely, and it makes a door, chest, entranceway, anything more secure, and I can even assign a password to it. So, I mean, if for
You could
it's gonna
arcane
cost-
lock taverns and houses and homes and things and give the keepers
we could-
the passcodes.
if this
and you could charge
if this
pretty
place
fee
has
for
some
it.
sort of this place has something like nobles or banks or something like that, and magic isn't too common, then perhaps I can sell my services there.
Sounds
We'll have to set up
bit
a
like a plan.
persona. So we need to get maps so we can
Something
maps and books.
things we can think about
When we
as
can
we
get
go.
maps and books, then we'll be able to find out more about the world. We can figure out if magic is commonplace here, if it ain't, and if it is commonplace here, then we can go back to being as adventurers as we were. And if it isn't, then we set up a guile of some sort, something where we was from some far off place, and we came here to spread our services to the needed. You, of course, being our front runner.
Sherwin could start a religion.
Oh my God, you're so right. I can spread
I mean-
about the knowledge about dragons after we get real set up.
Yeah, magic's not common here. You could be some kind of crazy dragon rider. You'll be remembered forever. Sherwin could have a whole cult based around him.
It'd be a religion if it becomes more popular. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. If it gets a temple, then it's a religion.
As long
If
as
they
I don't
just
have
meet
to
at-
pay taxes on it, it's fine.
No, religions don't have to pay taxes. You'll be all right.
I mean, well, we don't know. Maybe this world's different.
Maybe they don't even know what taxes are.
Oh, they actually do pay tithes to their religious leader, and you would get immensely rich, and
Well, maybe a church wouldn't be that bad.
We'll have to get the lay of the land and see if we're common here or if we're the exception.
Well, by how they was looking at me. Oh, also I would have mentioned by now that the goats have never seen anyone like me, and I didn't have Sherwin there to present, so I could like point him out. But because I
Mhm.
assume the goats aren't smart enough to follow like a description.
Yeah, you literally pointed at your face and asked them if they had seen.
Yeah, I was about to say this. Have you seen this before? They're like,
Yeah,
no.
that's literally what you did.
I didn't want to try. Have you seen somebody with large eyes, scaly green skin, a very large shell on their back? What is a shell? Okay, so
Mhm.
It's a big horn on his back.
yeah.
The biggest horn, the biggest toenail.
Yeah.
Imagine if your whole back was just a horn.
Yep.
Oh my god, goat turtles. I love it.
Oh,
Horns on their
My-
head and horns on the back.
my nightmares
Yeah, and
are
then
fueled.
spikes all the way down. I was about to say like
Dr. Moreau, or are we getting into?
oh, I love it. They don't even withdraw their head all the way into their shells. They just pull it back to where it's just their horns that stick out the front.
Or they can only pull their
Probably.
heads halfway in because the horns kind of hook on the shell and then it just kind of gets stuck. So they just keep pulling, but it doesn't go any further.
They have a special jaw plate on their jaw that locks their jaw so they can like set it on both sides of their shell and it becomes just a ram.
Oh, I'm thinking it's
yeah.
completely comedic. Like it looks like a goat that somebody stuck a shell on. Like it's just
I was thinking how to biologically make this into a pterodactyl.
no. It's furry. It's like completely goat, and it's just got a shell on it. Like it's like a kid dressed up for Halloween.
You know, I was thinking like how it might have evolved from a goat and
To a
like
turtle.
a turtle. Some
A goat
reason
turtle.
why the goats and the turtles got together and they're like, you know what? If we work together, I
I think at that
Oh,
point you're
wow.
just inventing like a Triceratops or Stegosaurus or some
Yeah.
amalgamation. Like
Absolutely.
we're just
yeah,
in
I was
dinosaur
basically thinking a
territory here.
trike with full like shell spikes on the shell.
Mhm.
Terrifying.
Dinosaur train. Shout out to
Oh,
the dads
wow.
in the group.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that song for sure.
Nothing breaks it down.
All
like
right,
backyard.
so back on topic, right? Because that was way off of it.
Yeah, we don't know technology wise. I mean, from what you're describing with your airships and stuff like that, that is way different from the world that me and Solomon come from. We have like ships and wagons and horses and
So what you're saying? You never have flown in an airship before? You guys don't
no,
even know what an airship is?
I mean, I'm presuming a ship that sails through the air, but that's about all I got. It's
Well, the name does
all the
imply
ship.
these things.
I have a decent intellect.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're smart enough to like gather. Be like, it's probably a ship that flies in the air.
Yeah.
Context is you also said you crashed into an air castle, so you know
I
that
didn't
checks.
crash. The ship disappeared. There's a very different thing. It's like we were flying. It was good. There was a castle. It was in front of us, and I was like, "We'll just go right in between the where'd the ship go?" So it was not my fault. I was holding on to the belaying pin. It came with me, and I was like, "I remember. I remember
I
you
wasn't
two, Sam,
assigning.
forever."
I wasn't assigning any kind of guilt. I was just saying, like, sounded like you must have been.
This is a really
somewhere
tough
close to the
time for me.
capital.
This is the first time in my life that I haven't had an airship underneath my feet.
Aw.
Yeah, we had these stories of these ancient mages that had like floating cities and stuff, but nobody knows how they did that any longer.
Mhm.
Oh, we got one floating city. But other than that, it doesn't work real well. It's very small. They're
Yeah,
mostly
so you have,
merchants. Think of Ewoks. Well,
the
not
evening kind of
Ewoks. What are they?
goes okay. And then you hear a knock at your door. It's getting kind of. It's now dark. You've been talking for some time. You've been eating, and somebody just knocks at your door.
Dude, what was cringy? Did you
Oh, no,
guys
that
hear
would be
that?
awesome. Yeah, I'll go. I'll check it out. I get up. I have my sword on, and it's like kicked out a little bit, but it's not like out all the way. I open the
Okay.
door. What do you need? Just a
Uh,
crack, like just looking through.
oh yes, hello there. Yes. I was. I wanted to just know if you maybe not even tonight, but someday had some time to talk. There's a young woman standing there. It's black hair, slightly wavy, pretty pale skin, like very, like, very, very light skin, but then very black hair. So interesting contrast.
What might the conversation be about?
Oh, I am one of the local bards, and I just like to get to know folk and talk to them. I just like stories. She just
Stores.
smiles at you with the biggest smile and seems to be very, interested and intrigued by new people showing up.
Well, who is it there, Esther?
It's a young looking lady. She says she's a bard. She wants to hear
Oh,
new stories.
Is she
I think
she
maybe.
hungry? We got some extra food.
All right, you guys all decent?
uh,
Sherwin looks down at himself and sees that he's immaculately clean. Well, yeah, I'm good.
All right. Come on there, little lady. I will say under one condition. You tell us a story. If we deem it
Sure, I
well
have
enough
lots of
read,
stories. It's
then
what I do for a living.
we could tell you a story.
That
Also,
sounds good.
if one were to say, tell us a story about the creation of this land. Do you know something like that?
Oh, there's lots of stories. I can tell you a story if you like. May I come in?
Yeah, I already opened the door in the
Yeah. So she'll
proper
just
way.
come in, and you all see it's a not very tall young woman. The She looks really bright in her, like, she looks around, she just takes in everything. You kind of feel like she's pretty good at picking up stuff, and just stands there, looks very young for being a bard, but other than that, just your standard human face. Um, so how would do you think you could tell me a little bit about you first? I'm Kyra. Hello. Um, I'm
Well,
very
hello,
interested in new
Kyra.
faces.
Well, I'll be inclined to give you our names first, but for any stories of ours, of course, righteous compensation is required.
My
Okay.
name's Sherwin.
Oh, yes, very nice to meet you, Sharon. You you are you from here?
Well, I'm a rambling,
Hey,
traveling
Sherwin,
man.
Sherwin,
Yeah.
let's remember the deal.
Oh,
No answers to questions until we get information from you first. You could
yeah,
even tell us why you're actually here. That would be a real nice way to start it all out, but we keep playing these games.
Oh, as I told you, I'm actually very interested in any new faces showing up, and um, well, let's say I just kind of had an inspiration to come here today and maybe look for new faces. And I sometimes have these, kind of oracular dreams, I think, possibly you can call it. Um, yes, so I came here, and there was the usual bunch of, just the people actually living off the land here that I know very well. And then you came in, and she also looks pretty like looks at Solomon every now and then, just being quite amused by him. She must have seen his display down like in when you first came in here, and he just kind of
Yeah,
turned around. It was
cats.
like, I'm gonna watch, and then he just kind of stared at a piece of wood for a little bit because the rafters are so low. So yeah, she looks like she's either thinking of a funny story about him already, or just chuckling to herself a little bit every now and then. But other than that, yeah. So as I said, I'm Kyra, and I'm a traveling bard. I pride myself of being a pretty good bard too, and of course I know some stories. And I just felt like I should probably come here and see if I could find any new stories, I guess.
All right, here, give me just a second here. I'm gonna have a little whisper with my friends over here. I'm gonna go over to Soren and Sherwin and be like, as low as I possibly can, like right into their ears. Like, I don't know if we can trust anyone with the fact that we're not from this world yet. Maybe we should ask her for a story first from about people from out of this world, like being heroes or something like that. I don't know, some shit. Maybe that happens here. If
E-
not, maybe
Excuse
we
me.
could have the best story ever created.
Excuse me, miss. Do you know if there's a pond or any sort of water nearby?
Water. There's a few ponds around. Yeah, in the forest. Mm, they're not
What?
very big. I mean, the ocean is quite far away from here, but you could go there as well. Do you want fresh water, or is it specifically fresh water?
I was just looking for a place to wet my jimmies for a minute to take a little swimmeroonie. I was just curious.
Holy
Oh,
shit,
okay.
just
that's a
thinking.
good idea.
The next, like the rivers are maybe a little bit too strong. They have a very strong current, so maybe be careful about the rivers if you go to any of those. Other than that, yeah, there's a few ponds in the forest. Sure. Most of the water is kind of underground, though. It's not huge lakes.
Oh, subterranean. I like it.
I hate it.
She just kind of looks around a little bit and just checks if anybody wants to chime in with anything.
All right, miss. How about a story of travelers from another world? Regale us. And then, if so, if my fellows agree, we may give you a part of our story.
Can I roll insight on this lady?
Sure, you can.
Well, that's a
Oh
12.
shit! I have a pretty
It's a
good
12.
insight. I will also roll insight.
Mhm.
Wait, what's your insight? I might just give him advantage.
I got a +3.
I have one too. And I should have just given you advantage.
That's life.
You were almost there. I feel it.
You both think that
Oh,
that
what up,
it's
Soren?
Ooh. Um, she
Soren's
seems
just
to be
watching.
pretty straightforward, and she actually seems to be very interested. Like, you totally get this feeling that she actually is like really interested in getting to know a little bit more about you. That's like, she seems to be one of those people that just really want to get to know others. Is what you get. I'll write a little bit to you, Soren.
I'd say Squigs is hiding underneath the bed covers right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He'll be out of sight.
Just curled up in a ball, still as possible.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Do you want to roll like a stealth check for Squigs? Just for fun? To find out how stealthy he actually is? Trying to hide?
Supposed to be hiding under the blankets, and he's snoring under the blankets.
Right, he just passes out. That's a dexterity, right?
Yeah.
Well, oh my god.
Mhm.
Hey,
Nice.
Squigs is a goddamn ninja dragon.
Yeah, so he's really good at hiding. I mean, even you have some, it's hard to tell which of the little wrinkles in the blanket actually is where he's hiding. So he's pretty impressive right now.
He's
You're
used to like
probably
hiding
pretty
on my
proud.
wrist and stuff. He's getting better.
Yeah. So yeah, you will notice that he's really good at hiding, and you can, be proud of him for a little bit. So yeah, that's that. So you would like to hear a story, right? Is that how I and then I get to know some more about you?
Well, that'll be
Or would you
of
rather
course
have a
up to
song or a
the
poem? I mean,
just a story would be good. A song would be fine as well. A ballad of some sort about either adventurers from another world or benevolent dragons or something along the lines. Like
Ooh, I'd rather hear one about adventurers from far off places.
yeah. See, I feel like that might be the best way to go as well. Of course, Esther's just like sidetracked by thinking of dragons now.
I'd like to hear the story if I can make a request.
sure. What is there? Is there anything in particular you would like to hear about? Just anything about
I want to
any of my
hear.
favorite stories, or
I want to
do you have
hear
a favorite?
your favorite story.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Soren. Yeah. Hey, tell your favorite story.
Those are always the best ones, I gotta admit.
So, that's a hard choice. But let me maybe tell you the story of the heroic arrival of the Dragon Lords.
Oh, Esther, you're
There
gonna like
once
this one.
were those, in the beginning of time, the Titans were created, and in time, there were just, well, all the other stories. But then, as soon as the two Titan siblings, Lutheria and Sidon, had pretty much just subdued every other Titan,
But
all their other
that's pretty nice.
siblings, it came to a time where they kind of became the tyrants of the land. And
Oh no.
that's when Sidon and Lutheria just ruled over all Thylia. They were worshipped by all the Gigans, all the centaurs, all the nymphs, and all the other fae around. It was for ages that they just had complete rule over this very beautiful land. The other dead tyrants became kind of a myth, and then they just faded into time, got forgotten, and they never got talked about again. It seems now for some people still that for some reason there were only those two titans from the beginning, some say. But we know it's not true, of course. So then there was this time when people started to come, other people from nobody really knows where. They just ended up shipwrecked, mostly. Just a trickle of people that haven't actually been sprung from this land.
Oh, shipwrecked at Esther. That's
And
about us
they
too.
and
This is
they
a
just
good story so far.
lived their very, very tiny lives in this big world. Nobody really cared for them much. Sidon especially ignored them. They were too weak and just he didn't even acknowledge their existence.
Oh no.
Lutheria kind of found them a little bit more interesting. Um, and then others came. Then there were some explorers. Some of those people ending up on our shores actually started to try to find out more about this land. Um, so then they started settling, and Sidon started to, because Lutheria asked him to, actually not smash all of them at the sea. They just were allowed to come in and actually settle and flourish in a way. And little by little, they actually spread across the islands and then to the mainland. And then they started to become enough people that they actually became a little bit of a problem for the other inhabitants. So this is when the Great Wars began.
Oh, the Great
There
Wars.
was
I want to hear about the Great Wars.
there was this these civilized races that they became known by then just didn't stand a chance against any of the other races. The satyrs and all the other the nymphs especially too, Gigans of course, just mowed them down. But Lutheria was kind of still interested in them. So it became, this little stalemate for a little while until they pretty much almost were extinct and nobody was there anymore. And by that time, suddenly a, a band of dragon lords came. Nobody knows where they came from. They just arrived in the lands here. Uh, and with those big, majestic dragons and their masters, this big, mighty silver dragon called Balmitria, they actually managed to, yeah, pretty much just defend those people that had landed here. So for a while, they seemed to be winning, and Lutheria was fascinated by this because she was interested in those little people suddenly sparking up. So after a while, they became, well, let's actually say that's when they became, I guess, civilized. Those people actually settled down and didn't have to fear the centaurs and nymphs just coming and taking all the land again. So, yeah, that's how the first settlements became actual settlements. And that's the time when the Dragon Lords arrived. Nobody really knows how much of that story is still the actual truth, but we all know that they just came and saved the people.
Well, that's a wonderful story. Has anyone seen a dragon recently?
Oh no, um, this is ancient past. I mean, this is our myths. This is further back than any person ever can remember, and I don't really think that, you know the myths tend to just wake up like that. But we
So
know the land is
overall,
thanks to them.
the dragon lords are loved by the people here.
Well, yes, of course. I mean, most of the cities pretty much just claim their descendants from one of them, and I mean, if you have to thank someone for your survival, I guess it's a good thing to just, honor them, possibly.
And these dragon lords, they came from an
Oh, we
unknown.
don't know that. Just from somewhere. They arrived across the sea, but they didn't. They bested the storms, and just got here.
I
I-
like look back and forth. I look at Soren and I like tap my temple.
I just have a little question.
Oh, what's his question?
What are those creatures you were talking about?
Creatures? Do you mean the dragons? They're like big scaly
Oh,
things.
no. I know what a dragon is, that little dairy. Like you said some like a nymph. What's what's a nymph?
Oh, well, they are, as they say, kind of born from this land. They have their
Oh.
own. It's a kind of magic connection to this land. They're pretty dangerous for anyone that comes just into their lands. They tend to fight very, very well. They're very good at disguising themselves. A few of them just tend to, lead people away, and then
Oh.
they never come back. Um,
Oh, that
They
sounds
they can be
terrifying.
sneaky in some ways, but that makes them very dangerous. They don't look like much maybe, but you should never underestimate them.
Oh, I'm from a pretty big city, so I haven't been around too many this is probably the biggest forest I've ever been in.
Oh, it's
Reminds
a
me of home.
beautiful forest, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. I mean, yes, it is.
Soren, can you speak in people's minds?
That's a weird thing to ask in
Uh,
front of the little girl.
No, this is above board.
no, I do not have message or sending or anything,
Okay.
or telekinesis, telepath, whatever.
I say, all right, well, deal's a deal. We'll tell you a story.
My wife
What do you
died, and
guys
I
think?
use her shell for a shield.
This is a true story.
Oh, that sounds like there's a real story behind that.
A dragon killed her.
Oh, that's too bad.
Bit her head right off.
That's amazing. She just looks at you, and it's like, actually trying to kind of
Sherwin still just
convey
got
that
this
she just likes to hear more.
he just has this cheesy grin on his face,
Mhm.
he just enjoyed that story and just wanted to
Yeah. Yeah.
share his. But he doesn't really know too much. He's just gonna sit there after that, I did it.
Mhm.
I helped.
I'm going to look back and forth and be like, I got an idea, fellas. If we tell you we're a few things, is there a chance that you can possibly help us out greatly in the future? Being a bard, a teller of stories, you have influence on people's opinions. I'm
I'm
going
gonna.
to show you something.
I'm just gonna interject real quick. I'm just getting the feeling, ma'am, that you want something from us, right? Like you're here to ask for something.
She just thinks that we're pretty cool, Soren.
Well, I don't. I get this feeling that there's something important that she'd like to say that she's leaving unspoken.
Oh, you got a secret, little lady?
Let's just lay our
Um,
cards on the table, and what do you ask? What you need of us?
Oh, I don't know how to play cards.
well, if you are asking outright like that, we kind of there's this oath that we think is running out pretty soon. It's been holding up for a long time. It is a stalemate between the elder titans and those gods that we have now. And we
The
think that,
Dragon Lord?
well, the gods that just turned up after the Dragon Lords helped those new inhabitants of this land to defeat
Wait.
the titans.
There's a second chapter to the story?
Oh, there's so many stories. There's I don't think we can, do all of that tonight. It's getting quite late, but
Oh, I just took a nap.
the gist of it would definitely be that, we now have this stalemate between our gods and the titans. They didn't really manage to defeat, the origin of the earth here. So they still are somewhere and still pretty much rule
me.
parts of this land. And we think that we might need to find people to defend those titans.
Oh, I'm good at defending stuff.
Wait, you wish to
Whoa.
defend,
Just
you
looks
wish to
at you
defend the
like
you wish to
like,
defend the
hmm.
Titans from the gods?
No, we actually tried the other way around. The satyrs and all the other wild folk, of course, have their own version of this, but we would like to find a way to end this eternal fight. And I think the best way to do that would be to find a way to actually seal away the titans for good, or find a way to actually defeat them, which is maybe a little bit too much to ask, actually, but one can dream. And
Oh, I
well,
dream every night.
well,
Do
exactly.
you do you
I do
represent
too.
somebody in your request, or is this just a personal endeavor of yours?
Well, there's this oracle. I think that this oracle probably sent me some dreams. I have this idea of, or I had this idea of, coming here and maybe looking for people. We've been looking and telling stories, and everybody is just on the
Who's
lookout for whatever
we
happens
there?
next.
Who's
Or
we there?
all the bards of the land and all the gods have been looking, and just I
Sherman,
guess
like,
everybody is looking
Oh,
for a sign by
look,
now.
what do you mean,
So-
people?
I'll look at Esther and be like, you can tell her if you want. I'm okay with it.
All right.
I'm not really
I can show you something.
a human. You know
Well-
that, right, lady?
Yes, I figured, but
Okay.
you're obviously all intelligent creatures that
Oh yeah,
are
yeah,
here.
yeah.
So, we're not that particular about what shape those
Solomon's a
heroes would
spell.
have.
Solomon does spells.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, he does like one called toss, and the chairs go fly, and it's great.
Yeah, he probably demonstrated that point.
You know he will. Throw something.
Just let's have a
Toss.
dex save by everybody.
Yep. Say what?
A dex save from everybody, please. I want to know
Oh,
if anybody gets hit now. Where is my
Yeah, I
stat?
get clocked.
Yep.
Oh
I just
yeah.
get smashed.
I catch some debris against the head. For sure.
I just look over and I'm like, no, man, that's why you don't say spell and toss when you're in the same room with Solomon. You just don't do
I'll
it.
just say that whatever she's gonna roll, she's not gonna be the one who gets clocked, but I'll roll anyway. Yeah, 18, so that's fine. So
I look over
Solomon
and be
just
like, all right.
takes the next, it's probably just gonna be the tray that you brought in with the food that's now empty, and you just took everything from it. He's just gonna throw it across the room, and it's just gonna hit you. It might even, do a point of damage, but
I'll
gonna
take
be
it.
fine.
I deserve it.
I'm
So,
gonna
yeah.
offer you
You played with the fire and got burned.
Possible deal. I might have something to show you that might startle you. It'll be all right.
Oh, sure.
But
What?
when we reveal our secret to you,
Look at
would you
Soren.
be willing to
What is he about to
travel
do?
with us and record our story as we
I don't know.
agree to help save your land? Squigs,
That's exciting.
shoulder up. And Squigs just comes squirting out of under the blanket, jumps
Oh,
up,
Jesus.
and lands on my shoulder.
Squigs, why were you under my blanket?
Squigs, he needs to hide when people don't know who he is. Because we don't know if they think about dragons here, but apparently they're pretty well liked. What do you think, man? As Squigs
That
is
is
just a dragon sitting
interesting
on my
little
shoulder.
fellow. What's his name? And she just goes up to him and
This is
kind of
Squigs.
pokes
Squigs,
him a
say
little
hi.
bit.
And then Squigs just runs up her arm and like goes around her head and like nudges the
Oh,
side of her face.
She's pretty happy about him.
Don't
Doesn't seem to be-
let him lick you.
Oh,
Yeah, don't
what's
lick
that?
her, Squigs. Don't lick her. He's a poison dragon. It just ain't good. Let me tell you that.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
He's a cuddly guy. He don't mean no harm in him, but he sometimes forgets that he's a dragon. But so we ain't from around these parts. We're not actually from where each of us are from. And I just start going into the start of the story. But first, before I start going into the story, though, I want her assurances that she won't like go off and like tell the authorities or like fucking get us fucked over. But most importantly, I want her to be our personal bard that goes off into the lands and tells our story after we're done doing it. She doesn't have to fight. She doesn't have to do anything crazy. We'll feed her. We'll keep her safe. All she has to do is tell our story.
Okay.
Sword is just going to kind of be matter of fact about it. Well, I mean, if she ends up going and telling a lot of people about us or has wild tales, I mean, really, we just have to say she showed up in the middle of the night. She said she had a dream about us, and then she barged into our room. No offense, ma'am. I'm just saying, if things did go
I mean,
south,
plausible deniability is
there's
very high.
definitely plausible deniability here. But I'd rather it didn't come to that. Let's just agree to keep each other's secrets until such a time
And
as
I mean,
it's,
if it really came down
good
to
sell.
it, we could just kill everyone involved.
Oh, well, no,
Hey,
that's not
not go there.
how we do things around here,
Oh,
Esther.
yeah, I forgot. New life, new start. Sorry.
The what?
yeah.
Huh? I mean, huh?
You know,
So there's a reason why me and Sherwin are on the same crew. I needed guidance as a captain, and he needed adventure.
I was really good
so-
at healing people below deck. I didn't see too much what's going on up top.
There was
I was just a
there were some things I may
documentarian.
not
I
have ever
just
told him.
I wrote stuff for a living.
We took cargo from one location to another, and that's where we'll leave it at.
She just smirks. She's pretty amused by you just, talking like that. She likes listening in.
So, what do you think, Miss? Would you travel with us? Tell our story of what you would say a new Dragon Knight or whatever. Dragon Knight, though I don't need any titles or anything, but me and Squigs is gonna go fuck shit up for you guys. If my friends are around, I assume there's gonna be money involved.
Oh,
Also, we're gonna need a whole lot of information.
I'm just here for adventure.
I mainly know, all the old stories and lots of ballads and things like that. I'm pretty good
Cities.
with
Where they at?
music.
Is
Oh.
north that way? It's just like a lot of like basic ass shit. Like
Yeah. She's just gonna be like, well, I'm sure I can help you in some ways and maybe just
All
accompany
right,
you for
secret
a little
reveal.
bit?
We also definitely need a guide. That's pretty much like the top of our list right now. We need a guide who knows their way around. You're a traveling bard. I saw it fit perfectly. I just kind of thought that I could cheese you into it with the whole
Mhm.
dragon story thing. It is what it is. Got to get what you can get. We need a little help, and you need a little help.
I
Let's
mean,
help each other out.
I feel like we just adopted Solomon. We're already adopting somebody else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Look, she could be a great asset in the fact that she knows the name of this world,
Oh, I
I
have
mean,
and
great
yeah,
you
but
don't.
assets.
couldn't we just like ask her some questions and buy a map and call it a day?
Yeah, but then also she's a
Again, no
bard and
offense, ma'am.
singing our
No.
songs into the future and being the next saviors of this realm, which I mean, we're gonna save this place, right? It's like
Well, sure, but we're not all trying to become dragon lords. By the way, were the dragon lords like riders of dragons or were they actual dragons?
Oh, they're the writers. Yes. So they were
see, Dragon Lord
somewhat
coming up,
people
happening one day.
who actually, had an oath sworn to their dragon. They had each of those dragon lords had one dragon that they would ride into battle, and that's how they managed to actually keep the Titans at bay. I mean, that's
Squid's just
pretty
on
much
top of
what
her
the
head
land
at this
needed.
point in time.
Nice.
Just
Yeah.
fucking with her hair.
Yeah, she's kind of good at dodging some of his more, whenever he gets a little bit too into the game, she's kind of just dodging him a little bit and preventing him from tugging her hair too much. Seems pretty good at that.
All right, Squigs, come on. He just jumps down, jumps back on my shoulder.
Yes, so because I don't think I've actually caught all your names yet. Would you mind telling me maybe a little bit more about you, or just maybe a name I can call you all?
Well, little lady, my name is Esther Stillard. This here is Squigs.
Very pleased to meet you. And hello, Squeaks. She just kind of waves at him.
He does a little puff of poison. Squigs! Damn it. Damn it. I'm still training him, but one day.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to be very, very helpful, I think, maybe.
He's still a
But he's
baby.
very cute.
He's only a few months old.
Aw.
I'll reach hand out and say my name is Soren, but I'm also called the Chronicler.
Very pleased to meet you. You're also are you some kind of bard as well then, if you're a chronicler?
I chronic history and do you have is magic prevalent on this world?
Oh yes, sure. I mean, it's there's all kinds of different magics. Um, yes, sure. Do you
People, though,
chronic that?
Yes, on where I come from, ancient magics were a lot more grandiose and powerful than the magics we use currently. So I go around chronicling ancient magics.
Oh, I
Typically.
understand. That sounds interesting. Well, very pleased to meet you too.
I'm
I'll nod.
Sherwin.
Yes, hello, Sherwin. Where are you from? You look a little bit unusual for these lands, I have to say.
Well, see, I didn't really know my parents. I assume I came from an egg. But I grew up in a city called Sharn, and I joined the church choir there, and then I met my wife, and she went and fought in the war, and then like I told you earlier, she died,
You
and
told me, yes.
yeah,
I'm so sorry for that.
and yeah, you know, her and I, we planned on going on adventure together, and you know, she was there, and she didn't really tell me that I should go on an adventure because the Dragonator in the head, but I figured it was something that I just should do. So I said, well, I'm going to go somewhere far. And so I went up to a tower and I saw this fine little hairy fellow over here, and he had his ship. And I said, well, I can heal things really good. And so he let me on board.
Also,
What an
speaking
interesting
of ships,
story.
you guys have airships around here.
Airships? You mean ships, but airborne?
Yeah,
Um,
airships, flying ships.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you meant that literally. Um, no, we don't have that exactly. I mean, there's I'm sure there's other means to fly than that. I mean, we do have a lot of ships. There's port towns. You can get ships are pretty easy to come by, just not
So,
in the air.
being an airship captain, I would know the resource I need to make a ship fly. I would ask her what that resource is and if they have it in this land.
Uh,
Do you
she's
have gasoline?
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, in Eberron, it's dragon shards
yeah,
that
Dragon.
make like the
Yeah.
airships fly.
yeah.
So yeah, that would be what I'd be asked. It's like, you guys ever heard of dragon shards, or do you know what them is?
Not that I know of. Can't
Son of a
recall
bitch.
any myths about that or any stories I've heard.
He just fucking kicks
just-
a chair into the wall.
I just
And
spit
it's
all
just
over
like
everything.
turns
But that
around.
doesn't
he's
mean
just
I don't know any. I don't know everything. There might be something that I'm just not currently able to think of. Maybe.
Sorry,
Don't-
I just this has been the longest it's been since I've been in the sky, and it's a tough time for me. It's nothing on you, ma'am. I
Oh, I'm
apologize.
so sorry.
It's just I really like flying, and I'm a cat, so I can't. And
Well,
soon, whenever Squigs grows up, we'll be able to fly together, and that'll be fine. But
Yeah, I was gonna say you're good. You went from a world with airships to a world where you fly on dragons. My world does not have people flying on dragons or airships.
we kind of do. both.
Dragons are usually like laying waste to towns. That's mostly their role in the world I come from.
You
That
know,
sounds
that-
terrifying.
That would be the Titans here, I guess. So your dragons are more like our Titans then. Just I guess the Titans are probably 20 times as big as any dragon I've seen, according to
Oh,
the
so
stories,
them's-
of course.
Them's real big. How would you say, like, how many of these buildings we in? Would you say?
Well, there's stories about this land pretty much being the body of a Titan. So I guess they
Oh,
would be
man,
pretty
that's okay.
huge.
Okay.
So we's on a giant creature of some sort.
Well, that's kind of the story. Yes. That's where the name Thylea comes from.
Is this place? And also, what is going on with the whole can't go north, can't go south because you're going to get killed or hunted? Both.
It's not really that you're not allowed to go north or south. It's just if you go into the lands of the satyrs or any other tribes, you will probably not be liked up there because they don't like those civilized folk, and they usually just tend anything that isn't them. I mean-
Interesting. So them satyrs and stuff, they're more tribal.
Well, they're just all over the place, really, but they don't tend to be anywhere close to the cities or anywhere where the people live that, as they would say, invaded the land at some point in the distant past. So it's been a kind of divide, I guess you could say that.
Like,
Sure.
at this point in time, like, he would start grilling her on, like, one, what is a satyr, a centaur, all this stuff? What do they look
Mhm.
like? What do they do?
Hey, sure.
Shit like that.
What?
Uh,
Yeah, Soren?
What's the name of the god that you worship?
Oh, well, I've never really asked.
You don't even know?
Well, I just call him the creator.
Is it like a creator, like the head of a pantheon, or like the only god?
Well, I never thought to ask.
You're just kind of flying blind.
Well, faith is blind sometimes, there, Soren.
You are the purest definition of faith, then.
Well, thank you.
You're-
I've been doing this since I was just a little egg.
I can see why it works for you.
Well, thank you.
Wow.
That was such
What a
the best
backhanded compliment.
ever.
Soren kind of a little exasperated, like, okay, well, that's not. I was gonna run a little experiment there. Ma'am, how common is magic here? I'm just gonna come out and ask.
Oh, it's pretty common. I mean, I've seen
Like you have
quite a lot of
colleges and
it.
stuff and such, or is it mostly temple based?
Well, there's a lot of magic that's more based on the land. So I don't think there's any colleges that teach you that. But there's, of course, people that teach magic and have their apprentices and all that. But yeah,
Is this like a common everyday occurrence to run into a magic user, or is it more on the rare side?
I don't think it would be frowned upon that much. It's just not everybody, most of the common folk just never gets to use any themselves, of course, because they can't. But I don't think they would, run screaming if they saw anything, unless it's something that's hurting them.
Wait,
Sounds like
you mean that the lights downstairs aren't just like magic the whole time?
No, those are just candles and some
Somebody actually
lanterns.
came
You
and
guys don't have to.
somebody lit those on fire?
It's
That
every
seems
day.
that seems like a
Did they
fire
blow them
hazard.
out later on? It's real
that's
fire.
how
Sure,
that's how
yes.
that's what works in my world.
It's,
Yeah,
What?
we have fire on our candles as well.
Continuous flame. It's a simple spell.
there's people that do it on the street. You give them 2 silver
is
and,
like,
and
yeah,
they'll
it's-
light it up for you.
100%.
This is a weird place. I don't know if I'd like to be here anymore.
I don't know. Yeah, this is
I think you
strange.
should
This is strange.
probably
We could
take
burn
that-
down at any minute.
I'm
You should
scared.
take that up with Itala downstairs. Downstairs, but in the front.
I'm going to write a letter.
Well, you can just go to Itala. Tell her she'll probably be grateful if you get
I
one
did,
task off her back.
I'm just
I'm sure
realizing
she can do that.
Soren and Solomon did Quantum Leap. We're just like, it's just an alternate reality. You guys are in Back to the Future 3. Like,
Yeah.
like you just went back to the old west and nothing works the way it's
Yeah.
supposed to. Like there's no
Yeah, like,
technology.
we're just like, what? Oh my God.
So,
no
there-
airships.
so you're telling
You
me
have to
there's
use fire for candles?
there's no train? There's no train here?
Train as in training? Sure. I mean,
Wait.
Oh
No,
my
like
God.
no,
Oh
like
my God.
like a big old thing.
We have
that,
to
that you
actually
get
ride
in and-
animals everywhere, don't we?
Oh,
well, you can just go on foot. It's fine.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
That's not.
It's not forbidden to walk. It's just sometimes
Well,
easier to use a cart.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
we
a cart
flew
like
in a ship
there-
before this.
oh
Let's-
man.
Oh, you can go.
Let's put
You can
emphasis on this.
use ships and boats as well, of course. I mean,
In the
Yeah,
sky.
preferably on water. Yeah, not so much in the sky, I have to admit.
So
I'm
what
gonna need
about-
to lie
alright,
down.
so we had a problem with a Stillabore. We have not been able to contact him. So you have dragon lords. So what dragons
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
are
is
they
the,
from? Tiamat, Bahamut?
She just
the
kind
name
of
of
looks
the
at you
gods?
blankly. I haven't heard of those.
Oh my God.
Is there a god affiliated with dragons in your pantheon?
Well,
What's a pantheon?
That's a collection of
Oh,
gods.
Oh well. Oh,
Yeah, they're
Mhm.
so
usually
that's
related
what
in
that's
some
called.
fashion. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of odd that I would know that when you don't, Mr. Levi.
Well, I was just asking. It's just a simple question. It's no big deal.
I'll use my
Yeah.
bonus action to make my magic quill, and I'll like write it on something. Here's how you spell it. That's
Nice.
Oh, oh, that's a big long word there.
does why when I do that, I'd like to roll insight on her to see if that's surprising or like just try to gauge. I'm still trying to gauge like
If
how
she's
common magic is on a day-to-day
mm,
basis. Is she like running into people Fantasia style, summoning, quills and writing on stuff on a
mhm,
daily, or is that still a surprise?
mhm. Um, she doesn't look phased. Might be what you don't what's hard to figure out because you don't actually know like her life that much is if she's just a very well-traveled person being a bard traveling all over, and maybe that's why she's kind of learned to not
I
flinch
was,
at things she doesn't
yeah,
know. Or if
That's
it's a
fair.
thing that just a commoner would actually also find pretty normal.
I'll make the word disappear and the quill disappear.
Mhm.
Now, see, Soren, I don't know why you could just do that and write like that, but when it comes to casting continual flame on something, this is a new concept. I'm really
I
struggling
mean,
with.
I'm aware of that, but in my world, the mages that can or wizards, as we call them, that can do that level of magic are more rare.
You mean like that's
that's
not something
the
that
thing.
they teach the little kids in the elementary schools?
Nope. No, no. In my world, they don't teach magic. That I mean, honestly, what the kind bard is describing is that this world is much how my world works. There's a master and
You're
usually
going
some sort
back
of
to the milk
apprentice that
cows.
takes them in. There's no like formal education for the most part. Some very large cities, a couple around the world, have magic universities or magic colleges, but those are even then they only have handfuls of students,
I
not
literally
children.
lived in the woods and studied dragons, and I can do magic. I snap my fingers and sparks go everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
that.
nice.
don't
We have a lot of
understand.
people like that. We have a lot of people like that. People that live in the woods and do druidic magic is what we call it.
Well, I
Mm.
learned some from a druid. I learned most of them from my ranger compatriots, though. They was more along the lines of regular rangers. My thoughts were elsewhere, obviously. Ain't that right, Squigs? I just
Well,
scratched him on top of the head.
I just ask really nicely, and things seem to work for me.
What I do
That
too.
is
I
nice.
just ask people and they tend to like me.
Yes, yeah, you understand. Do you have a little symbol that you wear like I do?
No, I have my scrolls and you know
Oh,
uh, I'm good at singing those kinds of things. That's usually what I do.
oh, this
So
is this is mystifying.
I really do hope that you think about our offer. It is the middle of the night
Yes,
and
it's
is
getting
rather late.
late.
Um, if you would, it would help us so much if you could help guide us through the first part of this journey. You
I'm
know,
I'm
right
sure I
about
can
the
help you.
beginning, it would be helpful.
Yes. How about that? We can just meet up tomorrow. I still have a little bit to do anyway. There's also still a game going on downstairs that I think I should probably finish. But other than that, yes, tomorrow there's nothing I have to do right now. I just followed, you know, those ideas and here I am. So I guess we can certainly go some places and see if we
Well,
can maybe help each other.
you have to help us figure out the best places to go, especially if we're going to be helping out and everything. Let's be honest. We are
Yes,
the
sure.
most interesting
Um,
people that you've probably.
I might have some ideas actually. Um, I'm sure it would help very much if you could, if you would you possibly be up for a fight?
You want
What
to
do you
fight
guys
me now, little lady? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, oh no.
Oh,
Sorry,
good.
that's not what I meant.
I really
Um,
didn't want to have to clock you one with the old Jack Johnson, Tom O'Leary over here.
I like pull my arm out and say, "What do you think, Squigs?" He like puts his wings out and just puffs poison again. Squigs, told you not inside.
so yes, there are some things just going on, you know, wild animals getting very much more dangerous than they used to, I would say. Things like that, and maybe we could just find some of those problems and maybe solve them. And I believe it's probably not going to work without fighting, but
Now, see,
I'm not going to fight anything. That's not what I'm saying, but I could
la-
tell
l-
you some things.
last time somebody told me about something that I needed to beat up, I just whacked bushes for like a month.
That is
Oh,
very accurate, actually.
that sounds interesting.
It
I
was not
wouldn't be
that fun.
talking. um, I wasn't like. It's not going to be bushes. I think
Well, that's good.
we
I'm
have
real
things
tired of
that
whacking
rather
bushes.
have, legs and actually also fight back. Are the bushes in your
Oh.
world dangerous in some way?
Well, I don't really know what was the deal with those bushes. We had this little goblin friend that was with us, and he said, "Hey, all you do is at the bush." And so I went over and I whacked every bush I saw, and I never saw nobody in any of the bushes.
Mm.
Also, a little bit more. That wasn't from our world. That was
Well,
from where we all met.
that
So,
is
just
also
some
true.
more enticing little bits for you to maybe be able
Oh,
to
that sounds
gather up on our
interesting.
travels together.
Yes, that sounds very interesting indeed. Um, we should just meet up tomorrow again. Um,
Yeah,
do
it
you
sounds good to me. I'm a little tired.
I can just wait for you just in front of the Sour Vintage here, and we can just find something to do tomorrow. I think we should go to sleep now, and I still have this bet going on downstairs, but that's gonna be just 5 minutes.
Hey, you. Good luck down there.
Thank
Hope
you
you
very
win
much.
big.
She just kind of bustles out.
Remember, just keep it quiet for now.
Oh, sure, sure. Yeah. See you tomorrow. And she
See you
just
tomorrow.
closes the door behind her and is gone.
Yeah,
Betting
lock it.
is a quick way down this. It's a slippery slope. I hope she ends up all right down there. What if she loses all of her whole life savings? I've seen it happen before.
Yeah, I'd really
She's a
also like to
bard.
see if she's going to go and talk to somebody.
Oh, is that
Should
what
I
you think
go
she's going to do?
I mean, we
see
don't know her.
someone?
We just met her.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess that is true.
I'll try and slip down and see it, like just like to the stairs to where I can see the tables and
Yeah,
like just
it's
look
kind of
across.
you're in the back of the tavern. Like it's not a two-story thing. It's like there's a front part, that's the
Okay.
bar area,
I just
and
want to
then
get to the edge of the wall and like look around
mm,
and see
you can
if
kind of
she's.
you can kind of just skirt the corner there. Um, are you trying to be stealthy about it or just kind of go and look?
Yeah, I'm trying to be stealthy about it.
Well, then roll stealth first. We're gonna see where this goes.
Well, that was terrible.
So yeah, you're kind of the floorboards are creaky. It's you don't know the place. Yeah, it's not really a stealthy endeavor, but it's like the tavern has become a little bit more loud, and it looks like people are just playing cards. And you do
Is she-
see Kyra sitting at one, like she's sitting at one of the tables, smiling at the other people, holding a few cards.
Okay. Have I been seen by anyone?
A few people see you. You're
Anyone from her group?
very probably, yeah. I mean, they're not like staring at you, but she's kind of sitting halfway in your direction, just like a 90-degree angle to you. So with a normal human vision would go further than that. You're not sure if she's seen you out of her corner of the eye. Might be, but she's currently also engaged in something else. But then there's another person that's kind of sitting right with his face towards you. And he kind of doesn't really pay you any mind as far as you know. He just, passes you looking around.
All right. I'm tempted to go play some cards, but I'm not one of my bard characters, so I don't have proficiency in cards and stuff. So, I also only have 10 gold, so I don't got a lot of.
Yeah, it looks
Ooh,
like
makes
it's a thing that happens there. Like, it's quite a few of tables that people have taken out some kind of games and are playing, and you do hear quite a few coins just being tossed out. Like they seem to do that. Not all of them do. Some seem to play without betting on anything. You do see that it's just, people are playing, some are just eating and drinking. There's quite a
So it's
lot
kind
of
of like a
talking.
chess house, but for cards.
Well, they're not all playing. It's technically still just
Okay, yeah,
a,
gotcha.
a
There's just a bunch of
tavern,
people playing.
but they tend to. It looks like quite a few of them actually brought some kind of
It's like
thing
a
with them.
noble gentleman's tavern kind of thing.
Yeah, or
so
maybe just a place to actually meet.
I'll
Pretty
just
much,
buy
yeah.
a beer or whatever, and
That makes
just
sense too.
walk around and look at the cards and stuff, and just try and gauge
It's the-
people's reaction to a cat person walking
The
around.
community tavern.
Yeah, pretty much. It looks like people are very actively, engaging in conversation and games and all that. They don't look very curiously at you. Like they do still look at you, but they don't look like they. You don't seem to cause anybody to want to, start a fight or anything. There's no animosity as such. It's more
Just a bunch of winks and
curiosity.
smiles and waves and
Yeah.
stuff. Just
It's they're
watching the
kind
game.
of
There, just
confused a little
just
bit,
watching the
but
game.
also very focused on whatever they're doing. Some people that are just drinking, some of them start to leave, but it's like the tables that had some games out still obviously want to finish whatever they started. So they're like,
Now, do I recognize how this card game is played?
there's a few different games. There's one that you might kind of realize is some kind of, betting on a common batch of card on the table. And then you also
Are the
have some
cards
cards
the
in your
same?
hand. No, they have different faces. You
Okay.
wouldn't
I mean,
like
same as our cards. They're different from our cards.
they're different, but the system seems to be kind of similar. Like it's visually different, but from what you can understand, it looks like a thing you could probably pick up.
And the money on the table. I
Mhm.
want to see that. I want to see. It's all gold, right? It's all
It's
gold and
small
silver.
coins. It's not actually
Small.
gold and silver. Most of it, like at most, there's a bit of silver on the tables. But most of it seems to be something that's more like a, copper bronze color. Um, yeah, there's a bit of silver, but it looks like it's mostly just pretty harmless, small gambling stuff.
Yeah, but not our regular gold
Nope,
coins.
still, yeah.
Okay. I'm just sorry, guys. Just saw another opportunity to get some more information.
Yeah. But you walk around and it's just this thing where the games, whenever they finish their game, people tend to just pack up and start leaving, just saying goodbye to people on other tables at other tables as well, just kind of greeting people they know, and then kind of just walking out. And the few that actually came in carts go in their carts. Others are just leaving, having lanterns out, and leaving in groups.
Perfect. Yeah, I just walk around for a little while, finish my drink,
And some just go into rooms.
and
There's
then just
few
go
rooms.
back upstairs. Like, I mostly it was
Mm,
just so it didn't seem like I was following her, just like
yeah.
to where I decided to come down and get a
Yeah. Okay.
drink before going to bed.
Pretty much. Yeah. So that's basically the evening there. Like, you see people seem to be pretty social. They like
And she
some
left
games.
before me, right?
She just leaves. Yeah, she kind of nods at you and just leaves. Um,
I do
no, no
a
further
over
conversation.
ostentatious bow.
Okay, sure. She just kind of grins at you.
She seems like she didn't leave with anybody, right?
No, she's kind of on, like, there's a group, but she doesn't seem to technically belong to them as such. She just kind of leaves as they leave as well. Like, she's
Just
not,
another
holding hands
switch.
with anybody or doing anything that would make you think that she's especially connected to those people.
And everybody seems cool, calm, and collected. All
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So yeah,
Some of them are a
I'll
little
just
bit
head back
drunk, some of them are a little bit, just very tired. Most of them look like they, yeah, just do some kind of manual labor. They're all pretty, like, no nobles as such or anything. Pretty well off, but not exactly noble, as far as you could tell.
Yeah, all right. I'll just go back up and like, all right, well, money's
Alrighty.
different. Cards are almost the same. Games are different. And I
Yeah.
don't think she was telling nobody nothing.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Also, the beer's all right.
It's actually very, it's kind of thin somehow. It tastes nice, but it's not as strong as you might have expected. The wine is
It's
much
like a
stronger.
it's like a party beer. You
Yeah.
just drink a whole lot of it and not end up on the floor.
You absolutely also, like, you would have seen this. Most people tend to drink wine instead.
Hmm. You got a lot of
Like,
pussies.
not the special wine you got, just the common stuff that the barkeep just
Oh
keeps
yeah,
handing
I
out a
forgot
lot.
I got the really expensive
You got
bottle
the
of wine.
special wine, yeah.
Yeah. I had to get more information.
I
It
know.
was expensive, but it
Mhm.
was worth it, I think. We found out a whole lot from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
2 instances of drinking, I have learned a lot of things.
Yeah, I
Drinking
mean,
is not always bad, folks,
one of the standards.
especially when you're lost in a world that you don't understand.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've
Well,
been to college.
nothing better than getting information out of
Right.
drunk people.
Mhm.
I've been to the beach.
Yeah.
I've been to
Yeah, but that's
Disneyland.
pretty much all you get for that night, and you can all, take a long rest and relax. You all had some pretty nice food, some very good wine that just keeps just revealing more and more aromas over time. It's pretty good. Um,
Way better than the
Probably
beer.
not enough to get any of you drunk. Definitely not Solomon. But none
That's
of the
messed.
others as well. It's gonna be very hard unless, one or two of you don't drink anything and one just gets it all or something.
I'd just be sipping on it.
Yeah.
It was good taste for the information we acquired.
Yeah. And who knows, you might still be able to make some more money.
Nope, that's the hope. Because right now, I'm pretty sure our money don't actually work.
I realized that when we leveled up, I didn't actually pick a feat.
Oh. So
well, like I had one picked that because I was scrolling through them,
Mhm.
but
you didn't actually.
I didn't actually pick one,
Pick-
so I
pick-
just took an ASI instead. But I just wanted to let you know.
Cool. Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. I'm just like
Totally fine.
looking at the stream, and I'm like, oh, people are gonna think I'm a fucking cheating asshole.
Nah.
Nope.
Cool. Okay.
Just gonna
Also,
bump my
it's
stats
really
up real
cheating.
quick.
Yeah.
Just talking to people is okay in D&D. I mean, that's what people do.
Just trying to be honest.
Trying
Yeah.
to keep me honest.
My honest, pure cleric heart was hurting.
Oh yeah.
The
Good
pure
old
cleric
Sharon.
didn't know he was on a pirate ship.
The old choir boy.
Uh-huh.
Don't
Well, that
judge.
was really nice. I think you found out quite a lot. Maybe
was
not enough. You
valuable.
don't have a map yet.
We didn't even make it out of. We didn't even make it into
No,
the next
you
day.
could have, there could have been other ways to do this, but yeah, I think that's one of the best ways to actually get some information without having to travel through all the land. So
I'm a big fan of RP sessions.
yeah.
Same though.
Yeah,
I do like to
I'm
kill
not
stuff too,
opposed to it
though.
at all. I was gonna say I'm
There's
down for
going to be
both.
time
And
to
now we
kill
know
stuff
that
too.
the other is in the future, and so
Yeah.
best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. Well, alrighty then. So you can all,
Hopefully we get a
get your
larger
long
day.
rest.
What
Oh, I
I
did.
learned is I
And
need to get the spell True Resurrection, or not True Resurrection, True Polymorph, or whatever it is, so that I can turn us into
Yeah.
dragons.
Yes.
oh,
And then we can be
That's
the new
one
Dragon
plan.
Lords.
I
nice.
was gonna say 100%.
Well, no, I don't like when people ride on my back.
I mean, nobody has to ride on our backs. We'll just be dragons who are lords.
Oh, that sounds
I'll
nice.
be the only one who is
Right?
not a dragon.
I'd make you into a bronze dragon because they like the sea and the ocean and swimming and stuff.
Well, that's very kind of you. I'd appreciate that very much.
It's just like a whole opinion about dragons, just massive switch. Like, fuck
Well,
that, I don't want to be a dragon.
I've
Oh
never
shit,
been
you
a
have like
dragon
sea
before.
and stuff. Oh right, yeah,
Right? Like, I think I'd want to be a silver dragon. What would you want to be, Esther, if you could be a dragon?
Oh, I'll probably want to be a poison dragon, just like Squid.
No, look at that.
So
You
cute.
guys could be like bros.
Yeah.
Although if I was a red dragon and
I'd
he
be terrified of
poisoned
you.
an area, and then I could fire it up, and maybe it would explode. I haven't tried it yet, but you know, it might work. But no, probably just me and Squigs working together as a green dragon. So it'd be pretty good.
I mean, if you're red and he's green, then you guys would be very festive.
Be like
It
Christmas
would
all
be
over
true.
again.
Yo, you guys have Christmas?
Well,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I just made that up.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I thought we were.
Yeah, I
gonna
don't know
go
why.
before.
I don't know why I acted like I recognized that. That was weird.
What's Christmas?
Weird glitch in time and
Right?
space.
Weird.
Christmas.
Feel like we just got
Strange.
maybe it's this world.
You guys
Possibly.
are all awesome. I know you got to get to work, so
I'll switch over. You can just plan whatever you like, or just be surprised next time by
I
whatever
like surprises.
Kyra has in store. And then yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks very much. It was a lot of fun. I really liked your stories as well. And let's see how this goes.
Sherman's a broken record, but I appreciate your kindness.
Oh, he's Absolutely, like, just as a character, he's the best, though, like, I
He's such
mean,
a
Well,
perfect
thanks.
old guy.
it's just the combination of all those characters just makes this perfect,
It's like
because,
6
you know,
really
you
good
have Soren,
stories, but
who's an
those are the
actually
only stories you ever
yeah,
hear.
you have the intellectual in Soren, you have Esther, who's just obsessed with one thing, that's dragons, and otherwise pretty opportunist about things. Then Sherwin's
Just
just being
competent.
Sherwin, and then you have Solomon, who's pretty much your guard dog. And
Yeah,
I mean,
comedic relief. Dun, 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 dun.
yeah, I mean him and Sherwin just talking is always pretty great.
It's so good.
And I just always
We're a
can
pretty
pretty
good
much
team.
see Soren face palming a lot.
Oh, I imagine
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of just looking away and just taking a deep breath for a moment, just to
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
gather, and then
Yeah.
okay, just moving on.
Exactly.
Not going to comment on that.
Yeah.
Esther's like, "Oh, they're doing something dumb over there.
Yeah.
Perfect time for me to
Yeah,
do
but he
something
wouldn't be
dumb."
so exasperated. I think it's mostly yeah.
No, he's just like, "This is a perfect opportunity for me to do something dumb."
Yeah. Nobody's looking. Cool.
I spent
Yeah.
a lot of time updating my notes basically during those times. I'm just going to get my spell book out, and I'm just going to start working
Mhm.
on some stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
Squigs
you
randomly starts
just have
pulling
a
your
lot of
ear.
yeah. Yeah, it's also always good to have somebody who actually kind of pays attention to what's actually going on without being, completely in the middle of everything. So probably really good to have somebody who's still thinking why things happen.
As he's trying to contemplate our next move,
Pretty
feels
much.
Squigs coming up on the back of his head, and as he's
Uh-huh.
looking up, he sees Esther on the other side, like pulling the sides of his eyes, and then just
Yeah.
just like grabs Squigs. Squigs, what are you doing? Squigs also just
Mhm. Oh, he can whistle? Can
oh yeah,
dragons whistle?
he 100% he can.
Not without some poison coming out, probably.
No,
Ah,
it's not
cool.
safe whistling. It's whistling though.
It's whistling. Okay. Sounds good.
More
Well,
like
thank you very,
raspberries.
very much. I'll
Yes.
be off and do some work, and we'll just see how this goes next week then.
Have
Yeah,
a
have a
great
good day.
day. We appreciate
Thank you
you.
very much. See you then. Bye.
All right. All right. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate everything. They're still just like chatting away in my ear right now, but it's time for me to sign off, and you guys have a great night. Bye.